just bugging.
It will turn this from this to this point here. Top of this will turn the distributor.
Okay.
Okay. The spring loaded keeps the distributor pressure on it. This is a little bit of pain in the butt. A lot of people put a distributor drive in before they put the case halves together. I never have. Of course, I could do it, but at the same time, people have memorized exactly where the distributor drive should sit down in there, and on where it's in the block, it'll be on the flat side. Because this will turn this way, because you got your case studs here. You can lay it in there and write it in there, and I can mark it and memorize it a lot. See this TDC here? See this BDC down here? Bottom dead center? How do you find top dead center? And what is top dead center? It's when both valves are closed on the cylinder that's firing. This is what, number what?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm cheating here to a certain degree. If I move it back and forth, you know it's not moving the rocker arm. You see the push rod tube's not moving? You know the rocker arm's not moving, pushing down the valves. So that would have to be number 1.
Okay.
Now, it fires 1, 4, 3, 2. So it goes 1, 4, 3, 2 in the firing order in the rotation of the distributor. Now, if we go over to number 3, it is on number 3 right here is opposite number 1. It's right on the same cam lobes. What do you see there?
It's not moving. Like it's not opening the valve.
What's not moving? They look like they're moving to me.
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, the push rod tube.
See them? See the push rod tube?
Oh,
push
okay,
rod?
I do see. Yeah, it's moving
See
up and down very slightly.
So you know you're opposite of number 3. See those both of those 2 cam lobes operate number 3 and number 1 cylinder.
Okay.
Go over and get that camshaft. So I'll sit down there. These 2 cam lobes operate number 4 and number 2. All right. So when it's turned and you're not opening a valve, right now the camshaft is on number 1, but it's right here because it's not opening the valves, not moving the lifters back and forth off the lifters from the camshaft back and forth. But over here, intake and exhaust, mostly the intake's moving up and down because it's riding on the load. I'll show you what I'm talking about again. This is number 3 cylinder. Hold them right there.
Okay, yeah, I can feel that. Yeah.
And the intake's moving more than the exhaust, isn't it? Lifter's riding closer to that load. Now come over here and do it over here now. See, where am I? Okay, ready?
Yep.
No movement at all, is it? Because it's on the back side of the cam lobes.
So whenever it goes through, it'll move this one.
Right, it'll come up. So you know you're at top dead center. Top dead center means that piston's already at the top. The valves are closed. It's already got the fuel in it. The compression chamber is closed up, and it's going to get the piece shocked out of it.
Yeah.
Firing that gas, knocking that piston down. It's a sort of a strange way of illustrating it. These are spark plug wires going to spark plugs, what have you. This cap sets down here. That little groove sets down right down into here. Like so. So if you want number 1, you'd want the number 1 spark plug, which is right here. See where the rotor's pointing? Of course, I don't have the distributor drive in it yet. This is a little bit intense to understand, but good that you try to get it. 1, 4, 3, 2. The rotor turns this way.
Okay.
Clockwise.
Okay.
All right. Distributor drive. So the rotor comes over here to number 1 connection in the distributor cap. See there? Inside the distributor cap. It hits contact, sends a spark down, hits the spark plug. Combustion chamber, the valves are closed, combustion chambers all sealed up. Boom, explodes the fuel. All right. Then motor turns further, goes to number 4. Sure moves over here. And
The 4.
And these valves will be
Closed
because the combustion will be closed. Go to number 3, which is opposite of number 1. That's why I went back and forth. The valves would be closed. Boom, fires down. 1, 4, 3, 2. 1, 4, 3, 2. Now, without a vacuum advanced distributor, which I think there's one right behind you there. See the vacuum advance on the side of that distributor, the big pot?
This?
That big pot there, that's a vacuum advance. Actually works off the vacuum, off the carburetor to help advance these distributors, and that's also a distributor for the advanced one too. With an 09 distributor or performance distributor, don't have any vacuum, it's all centrifugal advance. I'll go in that later. You can almost put the distributor anywhere as long as you get the fire in order on it. Just turn the distributor for the timing for it. So what you want is, I like to have number one, and I used to do this all the time, real simple like. I like number one to be right about there. There's an illustration on YouTube and stuff like that how to exactly put that drive down, because you got, when you put that distributor drive down in there, you have to turn it, go into the brass gears. And I've had to take them out and reposition them several times. Last motor I'd have to do 3 times, 2 times of that, 3 times maybe. But that's basically where I want number one to be setting, right there. So what I do is usually have a little notch on the distributor indicating where number one should be. And that doesn't have a notch. So basically that's where we want it. Right in the center, is it? See, it's off to the side. You see that?
Yep.
It's off to the side. You want to make sure you have apples and apples. You got to go like this. It can't go like that, and it'll only drop in there one way. This stays in, and you can pull this out and put points and stuff in it like that. This stays in the motor and only go one way. Distributor can totally fit it down in there one way with that slot. Okay. So what you want to do, that is a distributor drive, remove and install it. So what I do, and of course, you want to sort of line up the hole with this, line up the hole with that, but see how far she is. I'll probably end up having taken this out maybe 1 or 2 times, but get you some Earl on it. Earl helps things. And I lay this up in here like this. I go down where it's supposed to go. All right, now let's see. Right there's good. Then I drop it. Then
right
I
on.
move it around where it looks like it's square in the hole. In other words, that thing will drop right down in there. See what it did there?
Yeah, set it right in.
See it right in? All right. Now it's dropped down in place. But is it in the right place? Because you got all those gears and everything. So you turn around. I don't think it is. You see it's kicked up a little bit because it's not, the key's not sitting down there, so it's kicked up.
I'm just set right in, right?
Well, it's set right in, but where do we want it? We're set top dead center on number one. And where do we want number one?
On that mark.
We want it over there. So I'm like 9 degrees off, aren't I?
Yeah.
So, you know me, I don't leave anything undone because it torques me off. So what I need to do is pick it up there and turn it almost like, and then drop it back down in there. Then you got to take a wrench. It's really messy. Look at that. Well, watch this. See what I just did? See, I turned it. It's down in there. I don't think I'm there yet either, but I gotta find out. Find the groove. That will fly. In other words, it could have went up maybe one tooth more, but that will fly. So I can loosen this up and turn the distributor, and it should be lined up with number one. Thank you, Lord. That's why it took me about an hour to resize these wristband hose, because they're used pistons, which comes with the job. I've already got one wristband keeper in the hole, but Volkswagen and most of the manufacturers have gone to these type of wristband keepers that goes in there and it keeps the wristband in there, and the rod goes right in there. Okay. Okay. Round it flat, and actually this one was installed right. The flat part goes on the end, goes towards the inside where the wristband can ride on it like that. Let's see. The Ahu that was in this motor before had, tell me what they did.
They installed the rounded off side in and the flat side out.
Backwards.
Backwards. Could you said that?
They installed it backwards. You was trying to get correct. That's right. The rounded side goes out. And if you look here, I've already installed these already because they're easy to install once they get started here. The rounded side's on the outside and the flat side is on the inside. But the trick is, Josh, the trick is, see that little groove that it sits in?
I think, yeah, that little groove right.
It sits right there in that little groove where it's sitting right there, as you see. Okay? That little groove right there. What you got is, you get it in there, and you think you got it in there, and you don't have it in there. I think Ricky's motor, when I tore it apart, went completely missing and scarred a whole wedge in the cylinder wall. It came out, ate it up. So it's important, and you got to be very careful with these new ones. On the old ones, I'll show you when you turn this motor down next week. That thing is a wire thing. You just clip onto it and pop out, and it's a big groove there. You can't mess up hardly at all. But you're going to see me take a lot of pains and effort to make sure that wristband keeper is in that groove properly and not just halfway in there or whatever. You'll see me double and triple check it. Okay?
The round is on the outside, the flat is.
The flat's always on the inside. As you see, that was installed properly.
Okay.
It's been in there and used.
So this one's the rounded side.
Yeah, it's been where. Now I'm going to be able to reuse them, but I'm going to put them in there right. That might be different now.
Okay.
Most ways, but that arrow means it goes. Now if you turn it this way, it will make a knocking noise and slap inside the cylinder. That's not good. All right. So the arrow goes to plywood. We put new pistons on. I'll automatically mark it with a mark the same size as plywood, just like do the rods. The markings on the rods, tabs up. If you don't have tabs, they're always up, and the cogs go up on the top too, right?
No, they go towards the bottom.
We're talking about rods. We're talking about rods, and the cogs always go down towards the camshaft. Remember, the numbers go opposite each other, right? I got that all up pretty good. Take your. You got everything pretty much lubricated. That goes to the pulley, right? To the flywheel. So you want to go in there, so you want to get it in half of the piston already, which slides in there. If I didn't resize these wristband holes in the pistons, I had to beat it in, you know. Anyway, you line it up, get your eyeballs in here. You line it up, you stick it out, and you wipe your hands off. You got Earl all over you. Take a look at the other side here. Let's put some light on this up. Look at the other side and make sure you're, butted up against that side. And you take a rag and wipe that area off where the groove is, because you get some glare in there, you get whatever, and you don't know if you're in that groove or not. If you don't have in that groove, that wristband keeper will come out and you'll be sinking canal water. That's not a good thing. So I get in there with my thumb and clean that groove out real good, like that. Just make sure we got donkeys with the donkey and not before the cart. I take it, just do a little tapping. I know I'm in there all the way. Now here comes the fun part. So you got a lot of rim work over here. Now I'm gonna have on this piston here on what number is this? 2. Number 2. I have the what's this called?
Oh, the wrist pin keeper.
Keeper. I'll already have it on this side, and I can work with it on the outside. Easier to work with. Gotta work smart. It took me a long time to figure that out, because I'm not too smart. So the round edge goes to the center, right?
No, it goes to the outside. The flat goes in.
Flat goes in. Okay, that's wonderful. All right, but you gotta be, Jesus, right? Gee, where'd that thing go? And that's what can happen if it comes out.
It goes into the holes.
They go snap ring pliers. That's what snap ring pliers are called. Go in the little hose. You squeeze it, then you push it in there, puts it in there.
And then it spans.
One side just popped in. Well, you can tell if it's in all the way. You see the difference between this eyelet and this eyelet over here. You see the amount of distance in there between there. And sometimes you literally just have to turn around and take a look. Is that the same amount of distance? This one's installed properly. Is that the same amount of distance? I would say so too. It felt good. So there's another way you can look at it. You can see it's sitting down there. Also, you see the eye of itself. Here, let me show you. You see the eye of itself, and see the distance between here and there. Here's the groove. You know it's all the way down in there. If you had more distance in between there, you know it's not in the groove somewhere. See what I'm talking about? We got the right amount of distance here, and if you still don't feel right up, look at this. The center of the eye, and from the eye to the piston, the distance there, and check it with something else. That's installed perfectly. I'm a perfect guy. You see what I'm talking? You know, like a dentist, take a probe and make sure she's in place. Make sure it's in there right. And the right side, pointing the right direction and everything. But you see what I'm talking about here? It's really up in there. But you can get them, sometimes you look down here, the edge of it's sticking out. And so you gotta be careful. I think by turning the motor, it's gonna be a whole lot easier. All right, put number 3 piston on. Not a whole lot, but just enough to run your finger around it and everything. You can go in that hole and over off the side of it, doesn't matter.
So it don't matter. That's good.
Okay. Well, the first thing we should have done what?
Is see if it fit.
See how it fits. So run it through there and see how it works.
Okay.
Oh, that feels pretty good, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Just put a little bit more in there, and that way move it around a little bit. Now, you gotta have a feel for it. You gotta have your mouth just, you gotta go take your mouth and go just about like this, and you feel it going in. If you look at it, Josh,
yeah.
turn it over. If you look at it, move it out some more. Barely have it out there where you could get it down on the hole. Unstuck. Connecting rod. No. You're doing fine. You're going in the right direction, but why go underneath it when you just turn the rod like this, the piston like this? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Does it feel like it's going?
No. Oh wait.
I
think right there it went.
You know what you did? You turn your mouth in a different direction.
Yeah.
And you got it right in.
You wiped off that.
What, you got pansy hands?
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Try pushing in there with that thumb.
So.
All right. So you wipe it out real good. Then you eyeball the other side and see pretty much if it looks pretty flush.
Yeah, with the wrist keeper.
With the
wrist pin keeper.
Okay, you feel that? You feel it's pretty rough? But for kicks and giggles, I don't want to buy a new set of pistons. A little bit more. That's it. Now you put that eyeball on it. Now you know you're pretty much in there where it's at. Okay.
Oh, the light. Shit. That thing is a good magnet.
It is, isn't it? All right. When you go to put it in, sort of keep your finger there, and you won't call it on Jesus. See how it popped right in?
Yep.
And when it goes in, push in.
Oh yeah, it felt right in.
You see how that
Yeah,
worked?
I saw that.
That worked. That was sweet. That was sweet. And there's probably no doubt, but still, with a screwdriver, I used this to double check myself. When I got a little bit older, I triple check myself. And I got all this dirt, quadruple check myself. That was sweet. All right, so we got number 3 and 4 on, right?
No, you got 1 and 3 on.
Start, guys, good.
No.
Guys, good. All right, so if we, how in the world are we gonna get number 3 and 4 on?
It goes in.
Some click, you heard them both in. Both of them clicked right in. The distance good.
It looks good.
The back side up. Remember the other one, you had an issue. I think we're there, Jelly Bean.
This piston's in the way.
I would move it.
Move it.
Get my way. I'd go fast way around the track.
These are the same thing.
Right, that looks good to me. Where you got left?
A very long one, and then a second long one.
Second one. Is anything different on this side of the block than it is on the other side of the block? Is anything different on this side of the block than it on the other side of the block? I'm talking studs.
Not talking studs.
Not talking studs.
Two different studs, that's for sure.
So I must have did something wrong, or it's supposed to be like that.
It's definitely supposed to be.
Okay, so these
Well, I'm trying to trick your mind
as
to
why
a
they did
point-
two
to
different.
the point where you can figure it out. Is there anything different on this side of the block than is on that side of the block? All right, process elimination.
Okay,
How many holes you got left?
I got 2.
All right, any difference in the hose?
Oh wait a minute.
Oh, I see.
There's a hole. Wait,
Yeah.
there's a hole right here, and doesn't look like
There's
a
anything-
thread goes in it, and then there's 2 threads right here, one by the distributor, one by the.
The insert is all the way in, so that short one go in that one, right?
Which one? This one? Or no, this one? The distributor?
No, you only got 2 left.
The
Yeah.
longer one would be on this side, right?
Wait, but you
Because
it's
no,
not
because
threaded,
there's a
right?
thread in there. He said
Is
it's
there?
more in it. Right? Didn't you?
I guess there is
Yeah.
a thread in
It
there.
is.
So yeah,
So it's farther in.
It's inset. It's
Okay.
inset. Inserted inside.
and then the
Feel
short
it?
one. Yeah, I do feel it.
Visible thread.
It's threading now.
But that is weird though.
That's-
That they have one side
That
that's
is
inside.
because the oil orifice is going to the block. They have it that way. The long one will always go over the short. On the early bottle block where the oil orifices really suck, it's a different story.
All right.
How are you going to get those in there?
What? These? The
Yeah.
studs?
Gave it away, didn't I?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm going to do this side.
Oh god.
And then I might let you do that. You gotta pay attention.
Okay.
I noticed I said block. Anything different on this side of the block? You was looking at studs. The key word was block.
Okay.
Block. Had an insert stud on it that takes one of these longs.
Mhm.
That's why you're doing. That's the way you're
Okay.
freaking out over studs.
Well, I thought I like mismatched something or put a
Well,
short
you
one
got
where it
that.
wasn't.
Well, you didn't. You wasn't looking at the
Yeah,
block.
the block. Okay.
I was giving away as much as I wanted to give it. All right. This is what you call locking 2 nuts down and driving the studs in. Takes some coordination. So you're a football player, right?
Everyone thinks that. Everyone.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
thinks that. Because I'm big.
You look like-
What, a lineman?
I said that thinking you might be. These are 15s. Righty, tighty.
Lefty loose. Yep.
You watching?
Yep.
You gotta
Hold it
hold
really
it,
tight.
locking that down and turn it in right way.
Interesting.
Take it off. Make sure it's in reverse. You hold the nut. Push it. Goes back on.
It's suck building you back in old days where they don't have that.
Yeah. I had a.
Oh, you just reuse them
No,
now?
not these. I got a butterfly pneumatic race rod I do with air all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't think of that.
Air does it.
Yeah.
We're going to compress them, so I just pull this tight like this. All right, and then I'm going to put the cylinder on, right?
Yeah.
I'll get the cylinder on there, get it lined up, and I push it down there, and it compresses and everything. And how in the world am I going to get this thing off? It's going to be between here and there.
Is the band on induced?
It does. It does.
It's got click.
There's the band undo.
Oh, what the hell?
Flip it in. You compress it, and once you get it in there, it goes here, and you pull it.
Oh, it
just
goes a little
under-
farther?
Just goes a little bit farther and releases
Oh,
the
okay.
band. So it looks like we're going to be needing to do some kind of sealer here, aren't we? Do something here because it could leak there, couldn't it? Got anything in there to work?
Biggest one, right?
The cylindrical looking one? Maybe.
These things are paper thin, so
Oh, great.
Yeah, they can wrap. I know these. The ones with no hole, right? Yeah.
I mean, we need what, 6 of these?
4.
Oh, why?
Because it's a.
4 pistons.
Yeah, there's only 4
4
pistons.
cylinders.
Well, we got gaskets for it. Now, a lot of people don't even put gaskets in. A lot of rebuilders, Volkswagen rebuilders, don't even put a gasket in there. A lot of rebuilders take that RTV
Which is nasty.
and put a bead all the way around it and puts it in there.
So it creates its own
Yeah,
gasket?
I just wonder if the parents ever dropped them on their head as a baby. What I used to do, I'd take the gasket, lay it down on a piece of cardboard. It's a gasket sealer.
Oh.
Goes all the way around it. That's why that's how I was taught at Volkswagen Southeastern in Jacksonville.
You mind if I snag a water?
You got $1?
Yeah.
Just say you got $1.
Yeah.
Give us 3 of them. So you see the ring sticking out on the side of the band there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just pushed it
I like that. I can pop over that a little bit. But I'm going to squeeze it down just a tad more, move it around a little bit, and that might be too tight. But anyway, now I'll put the sealer on this. I'll put the sealer here and push it down on the piston and push it up there. But I'm going to do one side at a time. In other words, we're going to turn the motor over and push this side out. Or we can do this one as well. But what I do at this point here, I give it my last lube job. And I spray some oil on areas. This is the last opportunity I'm going to have to do right here. I got a little Earl there. Got this compressed. Now we go back to. Now what I do, guys, just for kicks and giggles, because I can't have any comebacks, and I'm not going to have any comebacks. So what I do here, I can just take it and spray copper coat, oil up the cylinder, pop it in, and that's how I built the majority of all of my motors. It got me paranoid as I get older, I guess. So what I do now is a little bit of aviation. Gasket, put it on there. Got the piston going towards the arrow going towards the
flywheel.
And this is a chance you take another look. Make sure this is when you get older like me. You double check yourself. We did a thorough checking to make sure all the clips are in and everything by me teaching you. Get a little bit of Earl. I'm gonna have to get some more. So it goes this way, right? Mm-hmm. Just like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it's different on this side than it is on this side.
On what side then?
Oh, one side's flat, right?
Where would the flat side go?
Inside.
Why?
Because they're both flat. Both cylinders would be flat on the inside, and then they sit
together.
levelly. Yeah.
Turn it this way.
Then they're not going to fit.
You're not going to get this.
So it won't even go on.
It'll go on.
Oh, well.
It will go on. What? I'm just weak.
Oh, I see.
Put your foot right there to keep from rolling. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Just don't break the ring.
Oh God.
There you go.
Me? I'm trying to turn the rings away from each other.
You're clocking.
Yeah, clocking them out.
Take your finger, go up like this, grab a hold of it. Here.
All right.
Underneath here, I'll show you one time. Turn it this way. That's about 10 o'clock. So, bring this one around. You're about 12. You got it there. Voila. See, you pick it up from the bottom, and
Okay.
you can do it.
Now, I heard you can change these in the car, can you? The tubes at least, or something like that.
Tubes out. If you have a stock push rod tube leaking, you take it, take the rod arm off, and pull the push rod out, you grab hold of it, and snatch it out of there. Then you put one of those adjustable ones that Dad uses.
But you can't put those in when it's in the car. It has to be the adjustables if you're putting them in the car.
They gotta go
during this time.
with the rebuild.
So basically never go adjustable.
Well, you can go adjustable for emergencies. That's different. I use adjustable on all my racing motors.
Yeah, that makes sense. The quick swap out.
If I had one leaking, of course I squeezed that thing to death. See, goes to the bottom, right?
Yeah.
If it goes to the bottom,
Top.
there's a faulty seal or leak, right?
Yeah.
It's the bottom of the motor sitting in
So
there.
then like flip it over.
So you might want to go to
The seam
top.
up.
Just go to the top. Because the oil, gravity works downward, and so if it had a bad seal in it, it would be at the top and it couldn't leak. Right? See
So basically always put the seam up.
I always put the seam up. Look at that. That's nice. This lady's getting such a nice engine.
I know, right?
Make sure these are getting clean. You make the surface. This is where the head seals up, just that no gas or nothing right there. Make sure all that's wiped down real good. Nothing on it. Earl, no nothing. No matter about the piston. These brand new heads, you take a last minute look at those. It's got a ridge on it right there. Take it clean out. Make sure there's no dust in there or nothing. I pulled the valves out. Their seats are nice. These are beautiful heads. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm very impressed. $150. Of course, I used to buy them for $65.
Times change.
Don't they? You don't want to pound down on the tubes and bend them. See how they fit? See how those little mushroom seals fit right into the saddles here? Alright, here we go, guys. I'm recording, I hope. We're going to be finishing up the 72 bug motor for Greg's cells here. And we just got to put number 3 and 4 together, the rocker arms on it, adjust the valves, close up all the orifices on it, and it's ready to load up tomorrow morning when I go to see Greg. Alright, a little bit of this. Started out yesterday with Dalton here and Josh, who I'm quite impressed with, wanting to learn mechanics. Reminds me back in the day when John, sophomore at high school, come and saw me after school one day and wanted to learn. I don't mind teaching young people how to do things, especially if they're very interested in it. And Josh seems to be very interested. Don't normally use aviation Permatex on the cylinders. I was trained by an old German Volkswagen master mechanic at Volkswagen Southeastern in Jacksonville back in the 60s. Take a little copper coat, spray each side of this gasket. Evidently that's not the hot setup anymore because of the cases might be a little bit out of whack or whatever. We're dealing with the only place you can get new cases now is Brazil, and they're okay, but they're not near as good as the Mexican cases, and of course not as good as the German cases. So it doesn't hurt to seal it up a little bit better, and that way you cover if there's an issue that comes up, you got yourself covered. You need to clock the rings. I actually go around 10 o'clock on one, 4 o'clock on the other, and you don't want them lined up because I wouldn't have a seal there, would you? I've had this ring compressor here. It's older than Josh and Dalton put together, and it's an oldie, about worn out. A little bit of Earl on the cylinder, put it in place, pop it on in there, just like that. There we go. Turn the motor over again, number 3 on. Lock the rings. A lot of people don't use the paper gasket on the cylinder. You'll find rebuilders don't ever put paper gasket on there because it'll cause it to leak. Really? I wish I had a $1 for every Volkswagen motor that I built and use of course the gasket. That's what they're for. But gasket is leak prevention. Of course, if you have the deck height on the block is warped or whatever, this area right in here, if that's warped, you have a gasket there, it's going to help seal and then cause it to leak. Now I raced Formula V's for several years, and Formula V builders, of course it's all 40 horse components, they don't put a paper gasket at all on it. They put a little sealer on it, like probably what I'm doing here, but there's a thickness to that paper gasket that can actually help increase the performance of the motor because of the deck height and everything, and they don't use it at all, nor do they use, of course, 40 horse takes a copper O-ring head gasket, and that's, well, it's seated just like the 1600s into the head. It's going to be a sweet motor for this young lady that's buying the car from Greg. It's got new A-heads on it. Check the valve angle on the seats in the valve, great, and for the price, it was a good value, no doubt. Other case was actually trash. Greg stepped up to the plate and got a new case, so I was very impressed with him. There's a bunch of stuff I can still be doing, cleaning the bottom part of the push-rod tube and lifter hose. 85.45. These are the original pistons in it. Camera sees it there or not. It's a AS41 bazillion case, and it's never been put together and ran. So it's gonna be a brand new case. The rods, I think they were cast rods though. And the crank, I'm pretty sure, was forged. It's got a new oil pump, a new clutch and pressure plate. It's got, of course, new rods, mains. Had to replace the camshaft. It was pretty well worn. It had some new lifters on it, and those new lifters would have been pretty well worn out if we didn't catch this, because that camshaft would have worn it out. And I feel like I'm talking to myself. Well, I think I am. It's going to be interesting. Tuesday we got another motor to take apart. Josh is going to be here for that, and I think he's really looking forward to that. He's taking automotive, which is exciting. I did that back in the day in Ocala, and I was the only guy in the class, in the afternoon class. You go to school half a day and go to tech the other half a day, and I was in the afternoon. I was the only guy in the class that actually did something to their cars as far as major. My first car was a 67 Carmen Ghia, and well, 3 weeks after I had it, I already had it out and messing with it, and I didn't know nothing about nothing. I was a sophomore in high school, but took a compression check when I was taking this class, and compression was low, indication of valve burnt. Pulled the motor out, took the heads off, had the valve job done on them at Volkswagen, Jenkins Volkswagen in Ocala back in the day. Got it all back together and everything, and poor old Bill Plain was the instructor, and I don't know why, but he didn't really care for me too much. He gave me a C on the project. Classmates that, you know, I was probably an arrogant teenager or something, I don't know, but I only got a C out of the project. But then I got my half my junior year and my senior year, I went to work half a day at Volkswagen, which what I wanted to do. And it wasn't, make a long story short, I ended up in the unit repair room, which is the engine room, building engines until I couldn't make enough money at Volkswagen. So I started shade treeing, and they didn't like that too well. They decided that I need to find employment elsewhere. So I went to work for Toyota. And I tell you, that's where my heart is really big times, Toyota. I raced Toyotas and SCCA, and of course I raced Formula Bs and Volkswagens and SCCA. Raced the mini stock around the southeastern United States, a little bug. And those Toyotas you can do a lot with cheaper money. Take these Volkswagen motors and you're going to have some money into it. Turn it on, turn it down, and do a lot of polishing. Like a bench grinder with fine wheel on it, but you can do all kinds of things with it. Alright, I'm going to install some stainless steel wedged push rod tubes. Okay, that's a done deal. The new head I'm really impressed with. Set it on down, set it on down, set it on down, set it on down. Some washers. Alright, we're back now. Rocker arm O-rings on, 3 and 4 side. We got to do a little bit more stuff, and that is I want to prime the lifters up, get a little bit of Earl down in there, which will work real good. Let's get our 4 push rod tubes, wipe them off again. Doesn't really need to be that long. Whatever, it goes down on there now, don't it? Okay. Let's get Earl. Don't want to give up on Earl. He's the man. He's the man. A little bit of Earl going into him. That's good. A little bit here. I think I need a rocker arm. I did some Hoover mods to these rocker arms. Maybe get a little bit more lubrication in that valve train. Top dead center number 1. We need to probably go ahead and snug those down now. Okay. That's not okay. A nice piece of pumpkin pie. A nice piece of pumpkin pie. Did you get that, Dalton?
Thank you, man. I have another.
That's twice. Oh, what a relief it is. bass box going on somewhere. Hear it on the video. The valves are been adjusted. We're setting up on number 1. Valve cover bell on it. Take the valve cover, get the excess crud out of it. This puppy's almost ready for shipping. Okay, I want to feed some Earl into some oil galleys. And putting the spark plugs in, sealing up some orifice, some hose on it. This puppy is heading for Greg's, and another fine motor by Motors by Bugyota. Talk to you later.
Wait is over, guys. The rebuilt 1600cc motor for the 72 Super Beetle has returned. So we'll be painting all the tins and detailing out every part, and alternator should be arriving Thursday, and I can get this all back together for the break-in of this. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, it's Dalton. I know this was a long video, and I know part 1 was a long video, but if you guys sticked around for part 2, then I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and have a just buggin' of a day. And stay tuned for more interesting bug content.